issue. Okay. Now you see, this was our plan. We wanted to create a calculator like this. There were two input fields, 1 and 2, and these are buttons. These are buttons. There are 4 buttons here. One is add, subtract, multiply, and division. Okay. And then there was another division that we have already created, and this division was called as result. Okay. This is the outline of our project. This is first built. Anytime if you are asked to build a application, first you should know how your application will look like. Then afterwards all underlying coding and backend database will be designed. First these things should be covered and then later those things. Okay. Now let me take you to the code. You see, this was the file that we created yesterday. It is containing index.html, and I had already told you. Let me open it in Visual Studio Code. Okay. Now you can see here, actually I have written whatever was written in the script. I'll explain you that once again. But again, I'm going to review whatever I have written. This is our HTML content from HTML starting tag to ending tag. Ending tag will be having a slash. Okay. And coming to the head portion, in the head portion we'll have like so many other things, but basically we'll be using title, which is a visible entity. Okay. And now coming to our body, we have got body here. Okay. Now this script, we can write here JavaScript. The JavaScript can be written. If you are declaring a tag like this script, here JavaScript can be written, JavaScript code, and here all HTML tags. And if you wanted, we can declare a style here. You can declare wherever you want, but better to add it in the head part. Okay. Now you see, this is very basic. Commenting in CSS is different. It will be like this. CSS. Okay. And whatever you are going to write here, it is just HTML. You need to understand this first. This is HTML tags. These are the very basic things. Already I have told you so many times. I repeat this every time because the better you understand this, you will be able to start your web development early. Okay. Anybody any doubt in this one? I have told so many times this one. Once again I repeat it. Okay, fine. I want confirmation from everyone. I don't want simply like mute people in the class. Okay. Now let's see what we can do. Let me run this. See why web programming is web development is very interesting, because whatever the changes that you make in your code will be reflected as soon as you make changes in the code. Okay. Now we'll go and check how our application is looking now. Just you double click on the index. Now it is looking like this. Now you see here, I want some gap here, but before that let me make my application work. Okay. What I will do is, I'll go to JavaScript. See, I have told you that we will have to run a function from the JavaScript. Let me start writing a function for adding. See, this is an add function, and on clicking this particular add button, I want to run this add function. So I'll be writing on click. On click means on clicking this add button, I want to run a function, add function. Now you see here, I'll just check whether this button is working or not. Console.log running add function. You can write whatever you want. Just for the information, I have typed this running add function. Let me go here, refresh this, go to inspect and elements, console tab. When I click on this add, I should get add function running. See, I am getting running add function. Again, if I click running add function. In this way, if I click on this add, I am running this add function. If I click on this sub, what will happen? You see, it is showing a error. B is not defined. That is because you see here, I have written on click. On clicking this sub, it is running a B function, but that B function is not does not exist in the script. Okay, I want another function. Let me write another function, sub. Okay, this function is sub, means subtraction function. If you want, you can write whatever you want, sub 1, whatever you want you can write. Let me write console.log running. See, whenever you want to print something, you should make sure that it is in double quotes. Running sub function. See, this is the body of the function. Only one line I have got, and this is the definition of function. And if you want to run this function, you need to write here on click. I want to run a particular function. I don't have B function in my script. I have only sub1. So I'll copy this and you paste here. Okay. Now we'll go back to our application and here you refresh. If I click on add button, you see running add function. If I click on sub function, you see running sub function. You understood how to write function and how to run that on clicking a button? Anybody any doubt in this? This is very basic thing in JavaScript itself. Okay. Now what we will do, see, whenever you want to add, what is the first thing that you do? You try to access the values. Okay. Now you see, in our application, there are two input fields. It means you can add two numbers. We can put two numbers. Here one number I can put and here another number I can put. And if you want to add these both on clicking this button, I am able to run a function that is add function. Okay. If I click add function is running. I should make sure that I will access these both values, this value and this value, in this function, add function. For that I had told you something. Whenever you are declaring variables in the JavaScript, you will be using const, or you can use variable, that is different thing. Anyway, we are number1. Let me write num1 is equal to, I can write whatever I want. Let me write n1. You should not get confused between this id. Id is num1 and I have given n1. Don't be in an impression that if it is num1, variable should be num1. It can be anything. Okay. I have written n1, and you remember this is whatever is there in the body is going to be a document. We'll call it a document. From this document, I want to get this input field, and the name of this input field is num1. You see, ID of this now field is num1. So what I will do, from document, write document dot. Document is having a function called as get element by ID. See, I am going to call this particular input field document dot get element by ID. Okay. In this ID, get element by ID, you need to pass the ID as a parameter. Means you need to pass ID as a parameter, means you need to write the ID here. Okay. And I want the value of that particular field. I do see, if I write like this, you see what will come in our console.log. Let me print n1 here. Whenever I print add function, what it will do? It will create a variable called n1 and it will get the document.get element by ID. Means this particular element it will get. Let me show you here. I have written only one line, this line. I have created a element. Okay. Anybody any doubt in the element? If you ask me if you are having any doubt in that line. because if you don't understand that line, you can't do anything in the JavaScript, because everything depends on document dot get element by id, get element by class name and all. Everything depends on that only. Okay, I hope every one of you got. If you have doubt, just put it in the message. If you can't speak, you can just put it in the message so that I can solve your problem. I can give you some more examples. Now you see, I have created a variable called n1 and I am calling the document. Document means this, whatever is there in the body is the document. Document dot, I want to get this particular element, so I have named this element as num1 and I am calling that num1 here. Okay, let me go to our application, refresh once, and if I click on this add, you see what will happen. See, I am getting the whole element only. Which is this element? It is this element, the whole tag, input tag I am getting. Input type number id num1. You see, input type number id num1. Okay, but I want the value that is there in the input field, so I'll write dot value. Okay, this you need to do. If you want the value, write dot value. Okay, now I'll refresh and I'll click this add button. Now you see, actually there is an empty space here. Yesterday we are facing the same issue. I'll tell you later why that was coming. But now let's imagine that I write 5 here, 56. And if I click add, you see I'm getting 56. Okay, yesterday it was not working. But today I have sorted out the mistake and I have done this. I'll tell you what was the mistake, why I was not getting. I'll show you that demo also. Now if I click add, you see, whatever the value that I have written here, I am able to access in the n1. Okay, in this n1. Anybody any doubt? You need to call the document dot get element by id, write the id name, dot value, means whatever the value is there in that particular input field. Okay, anybody any doubt? This is most important. Getting the value from the input field in the calculator is most important. Okay, actually whatever I am teaching you now, the MCA students, final year MCA students are learning now. Okay, you understand what you are learning. Just yesterday I was in the lab, MCA lab, they were learning this HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You are lucky that you are learning it now only, so that you will start building applications. Okay, now fine, we'll go to the next step. Now you see, I am able to get the number 1 from here, n1 from this input field. Now I want to get n2 from this. Let me write the same thing. You need to write the same thing. You are going to create another variable called const. Const full form is constant. I'll write n2 is equal to same. In this n2, I want to get the value that I am going to type in this input. Okay, so write the same thing. Document dot get element by id. Okay, and then just pass the id name here. Here id name is num2. This is num2. Okay, dot, I want the value of num2, so write value that is there in num2. Now this is going to print n1 and let me put a comma here. Okay, and give a space and let me print n2. Let's check. See, if you write like this, it is going to print n1, then a space, then n2. Okay, we'll go and see whether it works or not. Let me refresh. Let me write here 45 and let me write here 23. If I click add, you see here 45 and 23. I am able to fetch my values. If I write 21 and if I click add, you see 45 and 21. If I write here 12 and if I click add, you see 45 and 12. If I change the value 78, add 78, 12. Anybody any doubt? This is most important. Whatever the value you get, I am able to see it in the console. Okay, if you are having doubt, you just ask me, because if you don't understand this, I am taking so much time to teach this, because soon after you start practicing this one, I am going for Node.js, where you should be very perfect in JavaScript. So this is very basic. You need to understand this. Okay. Now you see, I am able to fetch the data. Now if I click on subtract, you see this is not happening. It is saying that running sub function. That is because I have got this running sub function. In this way, I will require actually 4 functions. So I'll remove this. I'll just copy this and I'll paste here. Again I'll paste here. Again I'll paste here. You see, I have got 4 buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I created 4 functions. Function 1, function 2, function 3. This is function 4. But you need to name the functions with a meaningful name. I have written add here. I'll write sub sub. Here I'll write multiplication. Okay. Multiplication and then division. Okay. D-I-V. Div. Okay. Now you see, whatever I have written here, I want to just see whether it will work or not. I'll write plus here. I'll write minus. I'll write into, and then I'll write here divided by. Okay. See, this is just for printing. Don't get confused. I am not going to. This is not going to add your numbers. This is just going to show that n1 plus n2 numbers. I'll show you that. But see, I have written add, subtract, mul and div, right? But whenever I click these buttons, now this is going to call sub1. Let's see. Let me reload the page and then write here 32 and 12. And if I click this add, I am getting, see, 32 plus 12, right? But I am not getting the answer. There is some reason. I'll tell you what is that. You need to add it actually. If I click on this sub, see what will happen. It will give you an error actually. See, this is the error. It is saying that sub1 is not defined. Okay. So what you will do, this is not sub. See, the function name is sub and here it is sub1. They both should be saved. So I'll make it sub. Okay. And go reload this. Write some number. On clicking add, I am getting this 12 plus 23. On clicking subtract, I am getting this 12 minus 23. Okay. On clicking this mul, I am not getting anything because, can anyone tell me why I am not getting anything on clicking mul? Let me see how many of you are awake.
Sir, on click anta ning kodilwala adika.
See, we have to write on click here. On click you have to write and you have to mention the function name, this mul. Okay. Yes. Now you see, in division also the same thing. Control V and you need to add the function name. Control V. You see, now we'll come to our application. Refresh. Whenever you make some changes, just refresh the page. I have written 34 here. I have written 56. If I click on add, you see 34 plus 56. If I click subtract, see 34 minus 56. Mul multiplication 34 plus 56. Division 34 divided by 56. You are understanding? Each and every button is associated with a function. On clicking this button, it is going to execute this function. 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 And these functions are defined here. They must be defined in the JavaScript. Then only it will work. Otherwise, it will tell that particular function is not defined. Anybody any doubt in this one? Okay. If you have understood, just give a thumbs up. Else ask me the doubt, because doubt will help you understand whatever you are learning clearly. Okay. Now you see, what was our aim? We wanted to get the values, right? But 34 plus 56. Now we are sure that when I click this sub, it is running the sub function only. If I click mul, it is running the mul function. If I click div, it is running the div function. I am sure now. Now what I will do? Now whatever you write here, no, that will also be executed. Now in case if I write here console.log adding, if I write like this, and if I go refresh, add the values, and if I click add function, you see what will happen. See here, 23 plus 34 adding. This particular value will be printed after that. Okay. After adding, I want to print the value console.log. See, why I am using log is because before you print anything on the main page, actually our result should come here. But before that, we should make sure that we are getting it in the console. This is the way of building an application. You cannot directly implement anything. You should check whether your functions are working fine or not, whether whatever you are building is right or not, whether the answer that you are getting is correct or not. For that, we will be using console.log. Okay. Now you see in the console.log, I'll write n1 plus n2. Okay. This should actually print the answer, but I am sure I know that we'll be getting a wrong answer, or it will be showing again n1 plus n2 only. Let's see, 12, 13. If I click on add, you see it is showing 1 2 1 3. Is it the correct answer? Anybody? It's wrong, right? It is actually concatenating the value. See, n1 value was what? 12 and 13. It is just writing 1 2 1 3. You see, 1 2 1 3. This is a wrong answer, because whenever the value is accessed here directly, that will be in the string format. You know, data type. That is actually a string format. We need to convert that string into integer. Okay. So what we will do, you can write like this. If you want, you can create one more variable. I'll write num1, but before creating a variable, you will be using a const. Num1 is equal to, there is a function parse int, means it is going to convert your number into integer. Now what it will do is, this is going to now you know that this n1 is a string format. Okay, so n1 will be converted into, parse means you are going to create this particular element into an integer, and that will be stored in num1. The same way, I'll create another variable n2, num2, and I'll pass n2 here, and I'll add num1 and num2 here. num1, num2, num2. Okay. Now let's see whether our adding function works or not. I have written 12 here, I have written 56. If I click add, you see. What is the answer? 56 plus 12? It is 68, right? I have got 68 here. So 12 plus 56, on adding, I am getting 68. Right? Now what we can do is, we will remove all these things. I'll get it downside. I'll just Control X and just write is equal to, I'll write is equal to, comma, Control V. Now if I run once again, 10 and 23, if I click add, you see 10 plus 23 is equal to 33. Here we are getting the right answer, right? Anybody, any doubt in this? This is what you need to do. Whatever the value you are getting, actually it will be in the string format, in the function. Initially it is in the string format. You need to convert it into C. This will help you to convert it into integer. And after converting into integer, I am going to remove this console.log, and you are just going to print n1 plus n2 is equal to num1 plus num2. This is what you need to do here also, in the subtract also, in subtract case. Let's just copy this one, paste it here. Okay. On pasting, you see it is string, it is converted into integer, and n1 minus n2, and write equal here, equal sign, comma, same thing, Control C copy, Control V, to write minus E. This is what is going to work in all the functions. Just after converting into integer, we are going to get the values. Okay. You see, I will have multiplication, here also multiplication, right? And again copy the same thing, just remove this, paste. What I am doing, just I am getting the value on clicking the button and divided by, and this is divided by, this way. Now let's see whether all the functions are working fine or not. Let me write 10 here, let me write 5. On clicking add, you see 10 plus 5 is equal to 15. On clicking subtract, 10 minus 5 is equal to 5. On clicking multiplication, 10 into 5 is equal to 50. On clicking division, 10 divided by 5 is equal to 2. Understood? This is very simple, but you need to understand step by step. Then only things are going to work in the web programming. And it is too interesting. Whatever you get in your mind, you just need to implement it. Okay? Anybody, any doubt in this? Okay. If you have got doubt, you just ask me. Now the last step is, we need to print the answer here, just below the button. Okay? And for that what we will do is, we need to get this element first. Get this division element. For that what we will do, same thing you are going to do, just below this what you do is, document dot get element by id. Again, what is the id, what is the name here, what is the id? res. If you want you can write res, or if you write result it will be much better. This is your, you can give any name, you can give a complicated name also, there is no problem, but it should be meaningful. Okay, see, document dot get element by id. Now I brought this element. In this element I want to write something. For that what you will use, whenever you want to get value you will write dot value. Whenever you want to write something in that particular field, in this field you will write dot inner HTML or inner text, both will work fine. And in this inner text you are going to write num1 plus num2, that's all. Num1 plus num2, this num1 plus num2 is going to work fine. Let's go and check whether it works or not. Again I will be taking 12, I'll take 6. You see, if I click add, can you see here, you are able to see the answer, 18. Here also you are getting, here also you are getting. Now if I click on sub, it is still 18. The reason is, we have not implemented this here. Just I'll copy it, I'll paste, and I'll copy this num1, num2. Okay, let me get it downside. Okay, fine. Now just copy this multiplication and just paste it here, and again copy this division. We have seen already that was working, you need not worry about that. Now we'll go refresh this and just write 14 and 7. If I click add, 14 plus 7, 21, I am getting the answer here, right? If I click subtract, you see 14 minus 7 is 7. If I click multiplication, 14 into 7 is 98. 98 you have got here also, here also. Division, 14 divided by 2 is equal to 2. You understood? This is very simple procedure. Why you need to understand? Just understand why this particular document dot get element by id result dot inner text is equal to these things are written. And at present your calculator is perfect, but there will be some problems. I'll tell you when you will get the problem. If you just remove it and if you click add, you see what will happen. You are getting NaN. You see what is happening, NaN, not a number, not a number. See, in such cases your program is going to crash. This is called crashing. This is crashing. You might have seen some of the Android applications. Whenever you are running, it will crash. It will stop the working. This is actually application crashing. For that, what you need to do, you need to use conditions. Whenever a particular function is running, you need to put a condition. Okay, let me put a condition and show you in the add function. The add function, if I am just putting a condition, if before this, after getting the elements n1 and n2, I need to check the condition. If n1 is not equal to nan, or means I should make sure that it is not equal to nan, and n2 is not equal to, this is not equal to symbol nan, then only I need to execute this one. Okay, then only I need to execute this one. So let me, you just look at the way I am formatting the text. In the add function, I have got this much. Most of you, when I was teaching you C programming in the lab, you are not doing this one. This is a standard way of writing code. See, in the if block, we have got these many things. In the function block, we have got this many things. This should be arranged correctly. Okay. Now, write else here, else, and in this, I am going to write something. Enter valid input. Enter valid input. See, first, what is it says? Whenever this add is being executed, it is going to access n1 value, then n2 value. Okay, this is going to check if n1 and n2, if they are not a number, then only this will be executed. Otherwise, it will say that enter valid input. Let's go and check whether it works or not. Let me refresh. If I click on add now, you see nan is not defined. Okay, actually this should be nan, capital N, not small n, it is capital N. Okay, now let me refresh. If I click on this, you see nan. Actually this is not supposed to behave like this. This is the way you need to check. Let me check the keyword first. Okay, I can solve that issue. See, it is not a, actually it will never be number only. You are going to put this one, because I told you that this is going to be string initially, right? So I am going to check whether it is an empty string. If it is not empty string, then only I am going to execute this, else I am going to execute this. Okay, so now it should work actually. Let me click on this add, you see here, I am getting enter a valid input and it is not executing anything. If I click, if I just write 34 here and then 45 here, then it is going to work. Or if I remove this 34, it will say nan, because this should be and, then only it will work for both conditions. You see 34, and if I have left it empty, it will show enter a input value, valid input. Okay, I hope this was clear. I'll explain you this once again, don't worry. Whatever the condition that I have written, I'll explain that one once again. But you need to understand, whenever you are building application, it should not make any mistakes. Otherwise, your application will crash. People will write feedback saying that your application is not good. All these things will happen. So make sure you will think logically. You will check from all the perspective. Now see, whenever I was entering the value, if I click sub, it is showing nan. The work of test engineer, the manual tester or the automation tester is to do this. He will put all the valid inputs and he will check whether our application is working fine or not. And there is one more error that we get. You see, if I write 0 here and if I click here, I am getting infinity. You know the reason? I can't divide any number by 0. I am getting infinity. Okay, this should also be handled. This is one of the very special case whenever you are dividing. Okay, I hope you are clear with the application. Anybody any doubt in this? Fine. I have taken some 6 minutes more of yours, and I think it was worth saying. I'll tell you why yesterday I was getting the error. and see, the reason why I was getting error is actually these both the values are written outside here. It was written outside the function. Here it was written, and whenever you click here, no, always you will get enter a input like valid input. Even if you are entering something, you see what will happen. Let me refresh and show you. Even if I enter something, you see it will show you enter a valid input. The reason is when it is running at that time it needs to access the values, so it must be always inside the function only. If you are writing outside, you will get this problem. So now you see 34, 56, if I click add, it is adding. You got it? That was the problem yesterday. It happened, we were supposed to put it in the function, we did not put. Okay, practice this one and we'll see. If there are any doubts, you can ask me on the WhatsApp. I am available. And your college is going to start on 30th. You have got a lot of free time. Practice this one. Learn JavaScript from some sources. Use YouTube channel, freely content is available. Okay. And thank you for joining the class. Good night.